What's going on, guys? Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a good week as always. Hope you have a good new year. I'm here. This is Anomaly Warren. I'm Elizabeth Warren's brother. Anomaly's going to be a little late today. He'll be back in like 15-20 minutes. But I'm going to start out the segment because my sister, Elizabeth Warren, is running for president in 2020, and she's going against the big banks. She's going against the racists. She's going against the sexists, the xenophobes, and, Anomaly's a very kind guy. He gave me his platform to express why I think Elizabeth Warren's going to make the best president for the new year. So we're going to talk about that first story. Second story is going to be about the will we build a wall? All the racists here want to know, all the sexists want to know. I know, let me guess, look at Anomaly, I'm from Texas, I'm from Tennessee. Oh, Anomaly, I'm from Florida. Yeah, of course you guys are. So I'm going to talk about will we build the wall? Because that's what everyone wants to talk about here. I asked the crowd. We're going to talk about the Yellow Vests movement. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but the future of the Yellow Vests. From my take, there's a lot of racists in there, and then there's some really good progressives who are going to save the world. I'm iffy about it, but we'll let Anomaly talk about that later. I'm only going to take the first segment. And then Louis C.K., the fourth story. Sorry, just the thought of that guy disgusts me. We're going to talk about his new humor and why what he said was honest and true, but it bothered me, and I think Anomaly probably liked it since he's like a total extremist, but he'll talk about that later. So we're going to talk about Elizabeth Warren, my sister. We're going to talk about the Yellow Vest movement. Will we build a wall? All the racists want to know. And Louis C.K. Happy New Year, Michael. Happy New Year, Andres. I appreciate you guys. Leah said, I'm from California. Build a wall. Of course, the racists come pouring in every time Anomaly stream happens. Denny said, nice hat. Thank you. I got it from, my great-great-grandfather was a Native American, so Lizzy picked this up for me one year and got me the hat. Thank you. William said she's going to lose. You could think that, but we'll see in the new year. For everyone just coming in, I'm Anomaly Warren. Anomaly is going to come later, but he gave me this platform because my sister, Elizabeth Warren, is going to run for president, so I'm not used to this crowd. I'm more used to, I'm not trying to say there's anything wrong with you guys, but I'm used to a more intellectual crowd. I'm used to a more diverse crowd, you could say. I'm used to Muslim, Christian, Jewish. I'm not saying you guys are great too, and we'll try to figure out. We're gonna figure out how to get your vote. We're gonna figure it out because the white vote we don't really have at Elizabeth Warren's campaign, and we know that. So, but I'm just saying I'm a little uncomfortable right now. But I'll read a few comments and then we'll begin. And then we'll let Anomaly join later because I can't stay forever. Lisa, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Laura from Ohio, Happy New Year. From Israel, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Israel. If Elizabeth Warren wins president, she's going to join forces with Palestine and use the technology. Hear me out. I know Israel's in here, but if Elizabeth Warren wins in 2020, she'll work with the best Palestinian scientists and we'll finally go back to the moon. Just throwing it out there because it takes Palestinians, Americans, Israelis. We all need to build rockets, and we'll get back there with Elizabeth Warren. You can't really see. Sorry, I got to move up a little bit. I got some birds in my pocket too, which is going to be a big part of my sister's campaign because you have to understand, I'm not biased. I'm a little biased because she's my sister, but only one campaign is going to save the world. If anyone else wins, if Russian right-wing racists win, everyone's going to die. And I hate to just say that and freak people out, but it's we're going to bring the Green New Deal. We're going to save the birds. We're going to save the bees. We're going to save the planet. And if you vote for Trump, then everyone's going to die, and I hate you forever. Only if you're white, though. If you're black or Latino, I'll pander to you forever. And so will my sister because, we get what Martin Luther King was saying, but other races besides white can't be wrong. And we're Native American for sure. All right, let's start it up. I don't want to waste too much of your time because I know Anomaly wants to talk too. He has a lot to say about Elizabeth Warren. So first story is about Elizabeth Warren running for president against Donald Trump. I'm going to make this quick because we have a real analysis as well. So it's taking me a while because I know how racist and sexist and xenophobic you guys are. So I'm trying to dumb it down. I'm trying to dumb down what I'm saying for Middle America to understand. So we natives come in peace, okay? We mean no harm. I'm progressive. I like women, LGBT, Muslim, Hispanic, the blacks, the Jews, the Palestinians. Like, I'm progressive. It's all love for me. My sister's gonna go at the big banks, okay? She's gonna go at racism, sexism, xenophobia, more Muslim senators, more Spanish senators. No wall, obviously. If you guys like the wall, you might as well just build a wall between what I'm saying now and your lifestyle, but it's just divisive. It's negative. We prefer... So a really good story in the news. Molly Tibbetts got murdered by an illegal alien, and her parents took the kids of that illegal alien, I believe, or maybe they were a normal immigrant. It's hard to tell, because what we've done in progressive and liberal media is we just change words, like, because we're better than people. It's not because any other reason. So when, like, we have immigrant, illegal immigrant, we just put them together, make a new word, call everyone else racist, and the dictionaries change, Wikipedia's changed. I mean, Google likes us more, but we're going to pretend like it doesn't. We can do these things. So I'm not quite sure who the kid was, but it's really great to hear that Molly Tibbetts' daughter was, or, you know, she was murdered, and then they had the kindness in their heart to take in a child. I mean, even if you're a conservative racist, you gotta like that story. That's a great story. And it's stories like these. It's stories like these that you don't hear about very often. Look, these are real birds, by the way, and you're racist if you think otherwise. These are the stories that don't get told. So if my sister wins, and Anomaly's gonna come in a second, I'm sorry for taking your time. If my sister wins, we're having no racists, no sexists, no xenophobes. The big banks, the rich, are gonna pay their fair share. Pay their fair share, okay? And the poor are gonna be better. And people of races are gonna definitely heal because of what I'm saying to them. So, all right. Sorry about that. I was a little late today. That's the homie. I like to give everyone a platform. So, on the real, I checked out Elizabeth Warren's 2020 speech. This is me, by the way. That was Anomaly Warren. This is a real deal. I referenced her in a song 2 years ago because I thought she was cool, and I thought she seemed a little different than other Democrats. I said something about Lizzy Warren. I listened to her YouTube video, and first of all, it has more down likes than it has up likes, so clearly it's not the first step you want to take. When you're running for president, you don't want people to dislike you more than they like you, so it's not a good look for Elizabeth Warren. So a lot of virtue signaling. I don't know, you guys probably haven't seen the video. It's so new, so you could watch it for yourself. But she uses clips of like Trump and like him cutting regulations, and then she uses that as like a bad thing. She's like, look at this crazy guy, and she literally used a picture of him cutting regulations. Like, oh no, he made it so the government can't control every aspect of your life. So that was like straight out the bat. This is, if you guys can't tell, between this and just regular, this is like my favorite thing to talk about. Elizabeth Warren brings joy to my heart. When she said she was Native American and we found out she was 1024th, that was literally wrapping up the new year. That was my favorite story of the whole year. Like, she thinks she's Native American, like, oh, look how Native American I am. And then she's like 1024th. You have to understand, someone who's 1% African, they're not going to go around and say they're black because they did a DNA test. You're talking about 1/10 of 1%. It's absolutely the best story of the year. Thank you, Elizabeth Warren, for that. But her virtue signal president running thing, she had Hannity, Carlson, Kellyanne. I wrote them down. Hannity, Tucker Carlson, Kellyanne Conway, Fox News, Steve Bannon, Stephen Miller. And then it immediately, after all of them, it immediately went to like a little kid getting pepper sprayed in the face. Like, I'm not even joking. It's like Hannity, Carlson, and she's talking about She's saying it's an echo chamber. And what's crazy to me is like, all right, I'm going to break down every element of why I don't support Elizabeth Warren. I'm not just going to get personal. I'm not going to get political. I'm going to go every step-by-step reason I don't like anything she's doing right now. So even if you're a progressive, like even if you're left-leaning, I don't care, Joe Rogan, you know what I'm saying, someone who actually doesn't lie to their people, no media isn't like liberal echo chamber, and you could say progressive's different, they get edged out too, and I'd agree with that, but like the left-wing echo chamber is the worst echo chamber in the world. It's literally every single television station except for Fox News. So when you try to turn the tables and say, look at, and I'm not saying you have to like Fox News. Personally, I like Tucker. The rest of them, they're okay. I'm not disliking them, but you're lying on such a scary scale, and like, I hope progressives listen to me too, but 95% of the television media is the echo chamber. Fox News is like the only thing that's almost not an echo chamber, and sometimes they are an echo chamber, but sometimes they're not. They're the only thing on television. This is a huge media source that millions of people watch. This is the truth. I don't care how liberal or progressive you are. The whole television is like extremist liberal propaganda on every station except for Fox, and half the time it's on Fox too. And you're now trying to push Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, all these people, they're trying to push this idea that more government control and regulation and higher taxes but welfare states that help everyone, this is gonna be better for everybody. But you're lying about the media, and every bad totalitarian society that came up on the left, and there's bad on the right too, they own the media. They stop you from disagreeing. Like, they do all the things that liberals and progressives are trying to do. I'm not trying to conflate the two and say they're exactly the same. But if this is in your history and you don't mention it at all and you just keep it, oh, look at you guys are being too loud. It's like, no, that's like the minuscule. You have everything, and you're clamping down on like the small dissenters. With no Fox News, you have 100% leftist totalitarian control of the television. And it's not good left-leaning stuff too, like there's on YouTube. It's the worst of the worst. So at least just say that. If you want my vote, Elizabeth Warren, which she probably doesn't, but if you want my vote or intelligent people, not that I'm that smart, but like anybody, I'm sure there's hundreds of millions of people for their own reasons. I hate to be like Anomaly Warren and blow myself up, but you gotta like make a pitch to me, and to lie to my face makes absolutely no sense. Like I know that that's not true about the television. Like Fox News is not the number one enemy. They're actually the only people talking about regime change wars, things that progressives on YouTube like. They're the only ones having conversations and dialogue. Like I'm not a huge fan of Fox, but like Tucker is the only good thing on television. Without that, you might as well just throw the whole thing out the window. And I know she won't say that because that doesn't sound good in the progressive realm. But that's why I don't really like progressives anymore. And I don't dislike people as people. I have a lot of progressive friends, but progressives analysts, I feel like they're an insult to my intelligence, and I feel like they disrespect my brain by just blatantly lying to me and being afraid of saying certain truths. Like, okay, we got to make the TV better, but like, let's not attack all Fox because it's the only, like if all television was super corporate liberal and there was one like progressive leaning news station that was like a little bit more real, I wouldn't try to say that they were the echo chamber and that they needed to be taken down. That's like a totalitarian mindset, and the left doesn't want to do that at all, minus all the virtue signaling she does. I have a few other things to say, and then we got other topics, but here's something about Elizabeth Warren. I'm talking just like, I noticed psychologically, like if you look at her, and sometimes Bernie, but especially Elizabeth Warren, she looks really uncomfortable. Like, I don't trust her, and I just feel like she has a lot of anger and tension, and like she's super angry and super agitated all the time. There's something there. I'm not saying she's not stressed out. I'm not saying like, but the fact that every time like I'm looking at her 2020 thing, and her eyes are bugging out and she's screaming at me, although she's saying like positive things. Just on like a human level, this is where they try to ruin your brain, because they teach you all these politics, progressive politics, cool, conservative, but like common sense matters. Basic humanity still matters, like politeness, holding doors open, being nice to people all around you, treating people with respect. These are things that get lost and no one cares about anymore. And I primarily care about this. And people like, what about the policies? Yeah, of course I care about their policies, but I don't trust somebody who's selling me bad policies that I already don't agree with, who acts like her. She's bugging out all the time. Something's wrong with her. And like I hope she finds peace. I pray that she like figures out what she's doing. But being angry is not a great thing to be. Like here's the difference between her and Trump on like a personal like speaking level. Trump gets the worst press. That's just obvious. But if you listen to him speak, he's really not that hateful. He could be harsh. He could definitely be kind of mean. But he's almost like trolling the whole time. Like if you really see his persona, when he says stuff about building the wall or stuff, he's not screaming and saying, we got to keep the Mexicans out. Like he never said that. They take a clip out of context and they add all this other, mush to it to make it seem like that. But he's actually like almost laughing half the time he's talking. Like you see him up there and he's like, what? Like we got to do this. Like someone's got to do it. It's true. Like that's Trump's whole vibe. And they make him seem worse than he is. But he's actually not really hateful at all. He loves America and he's very strong. Elizabeth Warren is 20 times as hateful. I'm talking pure like energy level as Trump is. Like Trump is having a good time. He's you stop, you next. Like it's very controlled. Trump's madness is very controlled. Trump's funny is controlled. Like but he's controlled. Elizabeth Warren, there's no control there. She's just angry. So this is why I don't like a lot of, and it's not just Elizabeth Warren, but like change yourself to change the world. You can't find world peace, I truly believe, if you don't have peace within yourself. You're not going to be able to make the right answers if you don't have peace. And when I look at people like Ocasio-Cortez and I look in her eyes and I look at Elizabeth Warren, I see the opposite. Like Ocasio-Cortez's eyes, like not to make fun of her, but like they're bugging out. Like, and it's just not, it's like she doesn't even know what she's talking about. She's got some issues or something. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not saying like, oh, it's her. Like it has nothing to do with race, religion, gender. There's just something about like presence and energy and the type of person you choose to be outside of your gender or whatever that they would try to say I was saying. And I really just don't trust Elizabeth Warren. She's way too angry. She's way too like freaking out. And that's what they do. I've talked about this a lot here. It's projection tactics. If you're really mean and angry and you're very hateful and you have an agenda of like total control, they're like super control freaks. We need this, we need that. You call everyone else, oh my God, Trump is a fascist. No, he's not. He's cutting regulations. He's lowering taxes. He's talking about the Federal Reserve. Like he's not a control freak. He's calling out every control system we have. He's going against the military-industrial complex. Trump is like not trying to steal a bunch of stuff up. These other people, they are those type of people, so they constantly accuse you. You're a fascist, like the people who, hit people in the streets. You're a crazy fascist. It's like you're doing what all the fascist, like military wing of fascist dictatorships did. And I find that with Elizabeth Warren, that she's every bit as hateful and nasty and negative. Like there's no peace in her. Watch a video of like, trying to think of his name. He's like an Indian guru. I like him a lot. And then watch an Elizabeth Warren video. Watch a video of Trump. Watch a video of Elizabeth Warren. Watch a video of like someone meditating, and then watch a video of Elizabeth Warren. And she's the exact opposite energy. She's always bugging out. And it's not comfortable. It's not normal. It's not healthy. It's not compassionate. It's not kind. Like I don't trust, as a leader, she's gonna be in a meeting with Putin, like freaking out. Putin, like what? Like you think Putin's gonna respect her? Like Trump says, I'm sorry. He says America is respected again, and it's true. Trump goes hard, but when he talks to Erdogan of Turkey, or he talks to Putin, or he talks to Trudeau, they know what time it is, because Trump's not bugging out at him, but Trump's like, listen, my man, it's like, you're not going to do this anymore. We're making a new trade deal, and you're going to pay. And then Trudeau, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to pay. I'm sorry, Trump. Like on camera, they're like, I'm on liberal news, and I'm going to act like I'm filled with motivational soy. And then Trump gets in a room with him, and they're, I'm sorry, Trump. But Elizabeth Warren, she's always bugging out. Trump is very calm. I don't lie, and like it's people might think that's petty or I'm being mean. I'm really not. It's just like an energy analysis of like something's wrong with Elizabeth Warren and a lot of people who claim to heal the world, but they're not even at peace themselves. Another crazy thing before I move on to the next thing, I don't want to bore you guys. She talked about the banks. Like that's a big talking point of progressives that I actually agree with. Like, yeah, the banks are getting away with murder, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, I don't even know that I disagree with that. Maybe we have how we take care of it. Oh, so we're going to take money from the middle class. That all escalated. But yes, the banks. Yeah, like what are we going to do about it? Let's see. We have wouldn't it be crazy if we had a president of the United States who was strong enough and courageous enough to talk out against the Federal Reserve, the basic banking structure that kind of determines how our economy rises and falls, and within a split second they could change the course of everything and we have no jurisdiction over that. Wouldn't that be great if we had a president? Well, no one's really done it since JFK, but we do have a president that's doing that. That's crazy. Wouldn't it be crazy if even if you're progressive or liberal, that we had a president that would cut $1 billion CIA funding program in Syria, that would go against the military-industrial complex, that would call out regime change wars and pull our troops home? Wouldn't that be great? Oh, we do have that. So Elizabeth Warren and this Bernie Sanders game, and even I'll say, just to be nice, the best out of the progressives, I think, is like Jimmy Dore. He's the most honest, and he compliments Trump the most. But I like certain segments he does, but I feel like something about the president, everyone else besides maybe Jimmy Dore, they're all just fake. It has nothing to do with agreeing with me on policy. It's like, even if I'm progressive, if I'm still talking about progressive policies, which I don't, I'm not going to ignore the fact we have a president going against the Federal Reserve and a president ending regime change wars. So anybody from Bernie Sanders to Elizabeth Warren to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez who doesn't talk about that, they're telling you something, just like Republicans do sometimes. They're telling you that they care about their policies and their ideas and their, agenda more than they care about the truth, more than they care about helping people, more than they care about what's best for our country. They don't care. And like Elizabeth Warren, I don't know. If I was running as a progressive, I'd be like, listen, but this is why I'm not a negative person. They're so hateful. They're every bit as hateful as they pretend that I am. I'm not hateful at all. You like things like I get done with this, I don't even think about it. It doesn't bother me. But with Trump, I would make a pitch and be like, listen, progressives, Trump's doing the right thing here. Like, Trump's doing pretty good here. Trump's doing good here. Here's what I would do. Here's how I'd change it. Here's how I'd make it better. I don't know that it's a good, maybe it is. That's how you do it. Just fight. But I don't know if it's a good strategy to lie about all the things he's doing good. I think she may isolate a lot of progressives. She's not talking about regime change wars. It's such a bad virtue signaling run. She says nothing about the wars, nothing about the feds, nothing about really anything. It's all race, religion, gender. Hannity's bad, Fox is bad, Steve Bannon's bad, kid getting pepper sprayed. Vote for me. You're like, what the heck? What? Like, it's so bad. It's almost like a parody of itself. And we're going to get into it, the last story of Louis C.K., and this is because the left, and if you're in the left, and I know there's millions of people who are afraid to say it because the media is crazy, this is true. Even if you believe in leftist policies, political correctness is not cool, and this phony culture that leftists have embraced and they're afraid to break out of, like even the top progressives, I don't like them, they're afraid to keep it real sometimes. They're like, oh, well, I don't want to, you can't keep it real. They don't want to do it. It's like they've sold out to political correctness and they've sold out to identity politics, race, religion, gender, kids getting sprayed with pepper spray in the face, vote for me because I like Mexicans more than you do. It's like, it's so dry and it's not authentic and it's not, it's not thought-provoking, it's not solution-based, it's not like, oh, that's how it's going to work. It's like the wealthy bad, banks bad, okay, we'll make better, we love the blacks. Like, oh, it's so cringy. Her whole 2020 campaign video is so cringy. And I feel bad saying that after I just had Anomaly Warren on, who was a big fan of all those policies, but you got to keep it real with me. And I'm going to have a lot of people debating Make America Debate Again. I'm going to try to make my rounds this year and really confront people in a respectful way. I agree with you. And here's what you notice before I really move on. You notice when I confront progressives, I get along with certain things they say. And then people are like, oh, they make some sense. But every progressive I talk to that hates on Trump all the time, I'll call them out and they'll be like, oh, Trump might get assassinated. Oh, Trump is doing that. Oh, Trump's so great. They'll admit it under their breath. And then they go back to oh, I'm afraid of getting thrown under the liberal mob, so I'm going to lie to myself again. When I confront them, they have no choice but to either lie or be like, yeah, you're right. He is really doing all this stuff. So what are you? A coward, a liar, a fraud, a team player, a sports player? You want to ignore that? And just to be real, it happens on the right too. And people get mad at certain things I say on the right. Like, oh, what are you trying to divide the right? No, if it's BS, it's BS. I don't care what side it comes from. I can't lie to myself. I can't lie to you just to please people. It's why, it's why I'm doing my thing on the couch. Like, I love everybody. I'll show up to events sometimes, but if you want just a yes man who's gonna lie, I can't do it. But Elizabeth Warren, dear Lord, God bless that woman. I hope that she finds some sort of daily method that brings peace in her life, because clearly, if you just look at her eyes and her she's screaming at me. She's like, we're gonna make America better. Like, she wasn't like, we're gonna make it better. We're strong. Like, it was like, I was like, yo, you're saying something very chill, and you're not being chill about it at all. Like, she legitimately scares me every time she talks. And I used to think she was cool. I don't know what happened. Second story of the day is about, I guess we'll go to the wall since people were asking so much about it. I'm not